Right before we jump into this video, if you'd like to take better pictures in only 11 days, I created a free mini video course that you can download right now at froknowsphoto.com/11days. Jared Polin, froknowsphoto.com, and I want to talk about the 70-200 2.8 FL lens now that I've been using it for a little bit more than a year. Now, we've already done a side-by-side comparison between the 70-200 VR2 versus the FL. You can click up where the I button is right now or down below where it's linked, and you will see a clear difference between both of these lenses and how much better the FL is in terms of sharpness and clarity and hand holdability in every single way. But now that I've been using it for a year, I want to talk about why I absolutely hate something about this lens. Now, I brought it up at the very beginning. The fact that Nikon went ahead and switched the zoom ring with the focus ring. So now you zoom on the outside and you focus on the inside. I am not a fan of this. I wasn't a fan of it when they announced it. But of course, this lens is so darn good that it's not a reason not to buy it. Now, some people say over at Nikon that the reason they did that is they got a lot of feedback that people said they wanted the focus ring inside and the zoom on the outside, and that still makes no sense to me. I've gotten used to the fact that my brain has to compute that this is the zoom and this is the focus. The issue is when I put the 24-70 on right after using the 70-200, my hand reaches out to the end of the barrel and I hit the focus before I actually do the zoom. But why do I hate this lens? It's because I am no longer as stable as I once was when I was zooming or moving and trying to capture a subject, or the subject is moving and I'm trying to capture that. Old lens, picking it up right now. Let me show you what you do. First off, I get rid of this darn ring thing because I never use that. Right here, you see how everything is tucked in? My elbows are tucked in. I'm creating those 3 points here, so I'm like a tripod myself. I'm nice and stable. I actually did it. I put my hand out on the zoom lens, on the zoom ring, because I'm so used to using the new one now. But right here, look how much more stable it is. I can sit here and turn my thumb and forefinger, and even when I go vertical, I can sit here and zoom and be more stable because I can hold it close to my face. But when I go ahead and try to use this lens like this, it's less stable because my hand is further out. If I bring it in like this, I can move and zoom at the same time if the zoom ring was right here. The other problem is when you go vertical like this, I'm losing a point of contact over here when I try to use this jog dial. So I'm creating less stability as I'm moving. And you can see that with these photos popping up. Fergie's walking on stage. I can't get good composition even when she started to stand still because I'm struggling and fighting because everything is shaky because nothing is really attached. So I'm having trouble keeping this balanced because I can't tuck my elbows in. When this arm goes out to the end like this, it's now further away from my body, causing it to be less stable, and then I start shaking with the lens. And it's hurting my composition. It's making me miss shots or have to take more shots because I'm not able to get locked in. I'm missing certain shots that I wouldn't have missed in the past if the zoom ring was in the proper place. Also, I personally take off this collar, but I will say one of the issues that I've had, and it's probably because I don't use the collar, is when I'm zooming out here, my hand palm sometimes hits the focus ring and changes and slips the focus. Now, if you leave this on, that's not really a problem, but I always take this off unless I'm shooting video because it's just one less thing in the way. Tuck the elbows in. I can go like this. This is a little easier down in horizontal, but I can even see it now as I'm moving and zooming. I'm hitting the focus ring, and I'm a little more shaky. It's more strenuous on the arms. I work out. I can hold this lens for a long time. Actually, I can hold this lens for a much longer time because it's easier to work with. So that's why I hate this lens. I know Tamron does the same thing. They have the zoom ring on the outside. Let me show you. I'm going to hold that thought, Stephen. I'm going to show you. I have a Tamron right here. This is a 100-400. The zoom ring is on the outside. On their 70-200, they did the same thing. So that's two companies doing it. I hope Sigma doesn't do it, and I certainly hope Canon doesn't do it with their next 70-300 because it doesn't work. No matter what Nikon tries to tell you that people requested this, I don't know why they would request it. Because all I ever want to do is shoot stable like this, tuck my elbows in, be able to zoom like this, even when I'm vertical, and make it work. So if you have this 70-200 lens, do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there a workaround? Have you found that you're missing shots that you weren't missing before? Or, see, my issue, one of the issues, I have plenty of issues. We all know I have issues. But one of the main issues is the fact that I now have to think about one more thing when I'm trying to capture the moment. So whereas I would just zoom and I would focus and I would worry about my exposure and capturing the moment, I now know that the issue is it's less stable. And I have to fight the camera in order to get the shot that I should be able to get. And I'm missing the shots that I shouldn't be missing because my composition is off because of the lack of balance. And I don't know who came up with this idea, but they should be fired and they should go back and reverse it and release a second version of this lens. Call that a version 2 of the FL lens where you switch the zoom and the autofocus, and I'll be happy. At the end of the day, this is a beautiful lens. It's expensive. It's worth it if you're a full-time professional because you're getting fantastic results. Just know you're gonna have to fight those things I just talked about. That's it. That's where I'll leave it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya. To check out the comparison video between the brand new 70-200 and the older one, go ahead and click up here on the screen. To check out some other cool video, click over here and subscribe somewhere around my chest. And that's it. Click on something.